Welcome inside the Children's Arena as we get set for Arena Lacrosse League action between the Oshawa Outlaws and the Peterborough Timbermen. Peterborough looking for their first win on the season. They're in 8th place right now with an 0-5 record. And on the other side of things, Oshawa, well, they're leading the league right now, sitting atop the standings with a 4-1 record, 2-0 at home. They're looking to continue that streak against the struggling Timbermen. I'm Scott Arnold. I'll be bringing you the action this afternoon as we are almost underway. Starting in net for Peterborough, as always, Stephen Walsh. He's got an 0-3 record on the season, 13.21 goals against average and a .777 save percentage. And on the other side of the floor, getting the start for Oshawa, it'll be Deacon Knott. The youngster sitting with a 1-1 record, 11.55 goals against average, and a save percentage of .802. And we're underway. Oshawa gets the opening possession. They'll send the offense out, try to get a quick start. That's what we see from this Oshawa team for the most part. They get out to an early lead, and then they hang on to it. That's been the MO all season as John St. John circles around with it. Finds a cutter through the middle, and that'll be a moving pick. So no shot on the first possession for the Outlaws. Timbermen back the other way. Caleb Bingley looking for somebody to get open. Ends up on the far side in the stick of Colt McNutt. McNutt using that size to unload a nice shot. That goes just wide of the net. And back come the Outlaws. St. John. Down into the corner to McNulty. Back to St. John, cutting through the middle, off the crossbar. Good opportunity for John St. John. Long outlet pass from Walsh. As Ben Doherty, he's waiting for some help off the bench. Swings off a pick towards the top. Down into the corner to Connor Curtis. Braden Smith with it. He gets checked hard. Ball gets knocked loose. Picked up by Chris Veltman. Oshawa on transition. We saw them score many times on transition last week. This time Andrioli dishes to Hanrahan. That gets waved off. Crease violation. Tucker King moves it as far as center. He goes off to the bench for a line change. That pass missed the mark. And 2-on-1 the other way for Oshawa. Can't get a shot off. As Walsh looks down floor. He's got Bragg streaking down the side. Just a money pass right into the stick. Still hanging on to it as Caleb Bingley. He's trying to fight his way through. Deacon Knott pulls it out of the crease. Tosses it down the side to Ryan Nolan. To St. John. St. John will circle towards the net. Out to the top, Oshawa looking to open up the scoring, and that one goes off the end boards, right up into the crowd. Down come the Timbermen, Tristan Jackson. Over to Bryce Dennis, he cuts towards the net. Deacon Knott makes the save. Outlaws grab the rebound. Just a couple minutes into this game. Back and forth action so far. Heavy shot from the outside. That's no problem from Walsh. Rebound scooped up by the Timbermen as we got some pushing and shoving behind the play. And Oshawa picks it off. Looking for some cutters through the middle. Finds St. John at the top. Back to McNulty. McNulty goes far side, and they're calling for some movement through the middle as Laskowitz tries a swim move. Can't break through the middle. And Borden gets a piece of that one. Ends up in the stick of Walsh. Walsh looking down floor. Finds Doherty. Doherty swings it out to the top to Riley Curtis. Curtis now with a flip pass. Everybody getting a touch right now. Braden Smith with it. Smith out of the corner. Over to Lagana. And Deacon Knott traps that one. Finds Brandon Graham. Graham's going to take it on transition, tosses it through the middle as Gilmore trying to get something going. Breakaway the other way. It's the Timbermen, Caleb Bingley. Knott makes another save. Long outlet pass. Strozier, he rings one off the post, and that goes out of play. That'll give a fresh 30 to the Outlaws. Gilray with it. Finds some help off the bench. Oshawa will set things up. Circling out, heavy shot. That goes off the end boards. And once again, Timberman back the other way. Pass goes a little too high, off into the corner. Picked up by Bragg. Referee says he stepped into the crease to grab that one. St. John trying to muscle his way towards the net. Couldn't get a good angle on the shot. Tosses it out to the top. McNulty swings it over to the far side as Laskowitz tries to cut through. That one goes off the iron. All the way back down into the Oshawa zone. Deacon Knott thinks about coming out of his net to play it. Stays inside as Todd Chapman grabs it for the Timbermen. Flips it out front. Little one-hand attempt by Riley Curtis. Misses the mark. Battle for it in the corner. Oshawa comes out with it. Timbermen already set up on defense, so that'll break off any transition, but Andrioli still gets an opportunity and scores. Andrioli finds an opening, and he makes it count. That's the opening goal of this one as the Outlaws take a 1-0 lead. Nick Andrioli. You see the Timbermen caught looking the other way. They had enough guys back. But Andrioli gets the shot off and opens the scoring. Just over 5 minutes into this opening quarter. Referee sees movement on the face-off, awards the ball to Oshawa. McDonald flips it to St. John. St. John over to the far side. Gilray looking for some holes on the other side. Gets flipped over to St. John. Tries to find Gilray cutting through the middle. That one goes off the end wall. Still 7 to go on the shot clock, and it's going to be a crease violation there. As Simmons looking to drive towards the net. Tucker King. He'll roll it over to the far side where it's picked up by Bingley. Bingley heads off to the bench. Timberman looking to get that goal back. Bradshaw swings off a pick, unloads a shot, can't get towards the net. Looked like it went off an Outlaw player. Timberman get it right back. No reset though as it didn't hit the net. Bingley into the corner. Timberman have to get something off. They do. Right as the 30-second buzzer goes. And the ball keeps rolling, so Oshawa will get to set up with it deep in the Timberman zone with a fresh 30 on the clock to play with. Laskowitz sets a pick. Moves it over to the far side to Gilmore. Gilmore looks through the middle and St. John scores. A nice give and go from Gilmore to St. John, and it's 2-0 Outlaws. As John St. John picks up his 9th goal of the season, 35th point. The Outlaws continue to roll. You see St. John right there. No look as he cuts towards the middle, trying to get the Timberman to think that he's not a threat. And then he turns, gets that pass from Gilmore and just buries it top shelf. Clean face-off win by the Outlaws. It'll be Andrioli. He opened up the scoring for this one. St. John with it now. Fakes like he's going to take a long-distance shot. We've seen him score from out there before, though. So Timbermen do have to be careful. It's Hanrahan. He spins off his man. That shot goes high. 2 to go on the shot clock. Simmons needs to get something on net. He does. Good enough for a reset, but the rebound picked up by the Timbermen. It's Chapman. Riley Curtis with it now. His shot goes wide, picked up by Deacon Knott. Long outlet pass from Knott. That hit something above, out of play. So the Timbermen will get another opportunity here on offense. Looking to cut this lead in half. Bingley swings it into the corner. Lots of movement on that far side as a heavy shot comes from the top from Riley Curtis. Deacon Knott makes the save. Aiden Saint tries to fire it off as he's going for a line change. Now it's rolling off into the corner. Trying to keep it alive. It's Rogers. He cuts towards the net, looking for the 5-hole. Walsh makes the save. No outlet pass for Walsh, so just dishes it off to the side. As Doherty will carry it. Doherty out to Curtis. Curtis winds up. That goes off Knott. And we'll have an official timeout with the Outlaws leading the Timbermen 2-0. And the Timbermen will start with the ball after that official's timeout. Just waiting for Walsh to get back into his net. Outlaws leading this one 2-0. Bryce Dennis. He'll dish it down into the corner. Goes in to set a pick for Bradshaw. Bradshaw's shot saved by Knott. Outlaws hustling back the other way. It's Chris Veltman. Pass intended for Webb. That just missed the mark, and we're going to see the first penalty. A too many men call going against the Timbermen. Referee right there saying they were quick on the line change. Timbermen don't like that call, but it'll obviously stand. So with a 2-0 lead, the Outlaws will go to work on a 2-minute penalty for the Timbermen. So a power play coming up for Oshawa. Laskowitz will quarterback things at the top. The Outlaws spread out right now. We've seen this power play before where they let everybody get a touch before there's any movement. Now Laskowitz starts to move into the middle. Tries to get the pass back from St. John. That hit a man in front. Looked like it went off the stick of Doherty. Now Walsh with the long outlet pass to Owen Dale. He has two Outlaws in front of him. He's forced to slow up. Looks to the bench for some help. Finds Smith. Smith comes back towards the line. Just trying to kill some time here. McDonald all over him. McDonald gets a piece of him. Smith still with the ball. About to do a full lap right now, but the 30-second buzzer runs out. Oshawa taking advantage right off the post from Nolan. Still a full minute left to work with on the man advantage. St. John. He had that last goal for the Outlaws. He'll work it over to Gilray. And again, Oshawa being patient on the man advantage. Just waiting for the opportunity. Now Laskowitz will set a pick. He cuts through to the middle. Pass intended for him once again. And it hits a body. 6 to go on the shot clock. Behind the net to Gilmore. Out to the top. A bomb. Saved by Walsh. Good enough for the reset. Fresh 30 with 35 left to go on the man advantage. Laskowitz over to Gilmore, down to St. John. Back out to Laskowitz at the top, over to Gilmore. He's got room, trying to put it through that 5-hole. Walsh gets the stick on it. Walsh looks down floor, Finds Curtis right at center, who dishes it in, and a good opportunity by Bragg, but Deacon not with the save. This will pretty much do it for the power play. 4 seconds left to go. Oshawa going for a line change as St. John just hangs on to it. We're back to even strength. Under 5 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Hanrahan trying to blow by his man. He's got room, dives through the crease, and crease violation, giving the ball right back to the Timbermen. Scott Arsenal brings it as far as center before moving it off. Oh, Bradshaw going to work on the offense. Over to Curtis. Curtis trying to come off a pick. He's forced to the boards. Now he's off into the corner. 6 to go on the shot clock. Timbermen have to get something going. Curtis with it, trying that dunk goal. Runs out of room. And that'll do it for that possession. 30-second shot clock violation against the Timbermen. Back the other way come the Outlaws. Hanging on to that 2-0 lead. Andrioli and St. John, the goal scorers. Pass intended for McNulty. Gets tipped off into the corner, scooped up by Walker. He gets hit by Andrioli. Ball gets knocked loose. Timbermen hang on to it. All by himself right now is Bingley. Everyone's gone for a line change. So Bingley will just cut towards the net, shoots, and he's knocked into the crease. Good try by Bingley. Back and forth action in this first quarter. Both teams with some great opportunities. Outlaws able to capitalize twice, though, as we've got a delayed penalty. Deacon Knott notices it now. He gets called to the bench for the extra attacker. Still 10 to go on the shot clock with the extra man. Laskowitz over to St. John. Little head fake, moves it back to Laskowitz, into the middle. Pass intended for Simmons. And now we've got some rough stuff. So the Timbermen, once again, getting a too many men penalty. So that's their second too many men penalty in a row. And the bench is not happy with that call. So another power play for Oshawa. They failed to capitalize on the last one, but they lead by 2. Timberman bench still giving it to the referee. And the gate might be open again for an unsportsmanlike. No, they're just exchanging players. So it looked like they were sending a second man over there. Just the one penalty. So Oshawa going to work on another power play. Simmons. Out to Laskowitz, over to Gilmore. Into the corner to St. John, into Laskowitz. His shot goes just wide of the net. That ends up hitting one of the beams, giving the ball to the Timbermen. Walsh. Long pass down to Curtis. Curtis winds up. That looked like it got deflected a little bit, picked up by Nolan. Nolan will carry it in, just past center, moves it to St. John. Now Oshawa will just take their time once again, but Laskowitz fools the Timbermen and blasts one from the top. A power play marker for Luke Laskowitz, and it's a 3-0 game. We normally see Oshawa working it around the outside, letting everybody get a touch on the power play. This time, Laskowitz just decided to call an audible, and instead of moving it over to Simmons, he just launches it from the top, giving the Outlaws the 3-0 lead. Oshawa gets called for movement off the face-off, so the Timbermen, with 2:31 left to go in the first quarter, will have an offensive opportunity to try and get on the board late in this frame. And now some more confusion. This time near the Oshawa bench. Timbermen putting their arms up, wondering what's going on. They're going to get the ball right back, though. Aaron Bradshaw. Bradshaw swings behind the net. Looking for someone to move it to. He still has it. Over to the far side to Curtis. Overhand shot. That hits a man in front. No reset. Outlaws get the ball anyway. On transition is McDonald. Swings it to St. John. He cuts through the middle. St. John's shot goes just wide. Good opportunity for him to get his second goal, but it just missed the mark. Steve Borden. He gets it knocked loose. Oshawa right back on offense. Brandon Graham. Graham heads towards the bench. Flips the ball to Simmons. Into St. John. Back over to Simmons. His shot. Nice save by Walsh. Simmons was all alone in the middle. St. John now into McNulty. That goes off the top of his stick. Still rolling around. McNulty steps through the crease, so that'll give the ball back to the Timbermen. A shot from way outside from Bragg. That just misses the mark. They're going to say it went out of play, so Oshawa, with just over a minute left to go in the first quarter, looking to add to their lead. Gilmore into St. John. He was getting hauled. No call there. Long pass from Walsh. Right in the stick. Nice play, but big save by Knott at the other side. Simmons on the far side. He's being isolated over there. Two guys on him now. Moves it over to Rogers. Back out to Simmons at the top. Heavy shot. That goes off the iron. And it hits the sidewall. Out of play. And a fresh 30 on the clock with 30 left on the game clock. So shot clock and game clock matching right now. Hanrahan. Swim move to get around his man. Knott is on the bench for the extra attacker. So 6 Outlaws out there right now on this final possession. As Laskowitz looks behind him to see the clock. Moves it into Simmons. Laskowitz looks behind him again. 5 seconds left to go as Simmons steps into one. Heavy bomb saved by Walsh. And then Simmons gets interfered with. And with 1 second left to go, Oshawa unable to get anything on net, and that'll do it for the first quarter of play. Back and forth action. Oshawa heading into the break with a 3-0 lead over Peterborough. We'll be back right after this. And welcome back inside the Children's Arena as the Oshawa Outlaws have a 3-0 lead over the Peterborough Timbermen. I'm Scott Arnold, bringing you Arena Lacrosse League action this afternoon. Despite the score, it has been a battle between these two teams. Both teams with equal opportunities. Oshawa just capitalizing on theirs. Their last goal coming on the power play. Jake Gilmore with 3 assists. He's been in on all 3 goals so far. John St. John and Luke Laskowitz, they've got a goal and an assist each. And second quarter underway. Timmerman with the ball right off the bat. 3-on-1 opportunity. That shot goes high and wide. Quickly back the other way is Tompkinson. Tompkinson with some room. And that goes off a defender and into the net. As Zach Tompkinson looked like he was trying to pass it over, and it goes off the defender and through the net. And 16 seconds in, the Outlaws have a 4-0 lead. And watch Thompson, he has some room here, and then he goes to toss it over and right off Chapman's stick past Walsh. Ball still bouncing around off that face-off. Eventually picked up by Veltman in the corner. Deacon Knott comes out of his net to set a nice pick for him. And now he's being called on by Caleb Bingley. Says, want to go, as he goes by. Play resumes the other way. Now Hanrahan. Deacon Knott still getting chirped from the Peterborough bench. There's 2 or 3 guys trying to let him have it. Tough guy to rattle, though, Deacon Knott. One of the best goaltenders in the biz. And that shot just misses the mark. It was a pass intended for Simmons. Back the other way. This time it's a good line change. We've seen the Timbermen get caught for too many men twice. And they got the rebound. Another opportunity. And things starting to heat up in front of the Oshawa net. Referee blows it back in. Nolan with the ball. Nolan goes for a line change. And Luke Laskowitz with the ball now. Drops it into the corner. Nice play as Josh Gilray rings one off the iron. Timmerman looking for their first goal. A little give and go. And that's saved by Knott as Parker Sands is looking to find an opening. Saint with it now for the Outlaws. That hits a man. Timmerman back the other way, and we're going to see a fight now. The 2 Warriors exchanging it out. It's Caleb Bingley mixing it up. Didn't see who he's going with. The jersey got ripped off pretty quick. As Bingley, he's pretty fired up after that one. He had some words for Knott before heading to the bench after his last shift. Now he does the championship belt a la Ty Domi as he heads off. As if he's wearing the fake championship belt, the old Ty Domi classic. You knew something was coming from Bingley, though. He was pretty fired up after that last shift, and the Timberman bench still chirping Deacon Knott. There's about 3 of them that are more focused on him than they are on the game right now, trying to throw Knott off his game. As Oshawa with a 4-0 lead. Can't blame the Timbermen. You have to try anything at this point. Might as well try with the goaltender, try to rattle him and get him off his game. So with the Outlaws leading 4-0, we're going to see a power play, it looks like. 2 minutes goes up on the board on the Oshawa side. They were getting the original penalty, I believe. We'll see how this all gets sorted out. Oshawa needs to send somebody to the penalty box. Now they do. Looks like Andrioli will serve that one. So the Timbermen with their first power play of the game. Looking to get on the board. Curtis moves it out to McNaught. Out to Curtis at the top. It's Riley Curtis. Down to the side, good opportunity from Connor Curtis. Just missed the mark. Oshawa back the other way, Tompkinson. He was credited with that last goal, moves it up to Veltman, to St. John, and he scores. Nice dish up from Tompkinson. And then Veltman over to St. John for the finish. So a short-handed goal for the Outlaws makes this one 5-0. And you see Veltman right after getting that pass from Tompkinson over to St. John, and he doesn't miss many of those when he's left alone. That's his second goal of the game. Timbermen still on the power play, 1:20 left to work with. Riley Curtis does a little change-up shot. Knott makes the save, rebound. Briefly picked up by Oshawa. Curtis gets it right back. Out to the top. Looking for that heavy shot. That hits a body in front as Bryce Dennis gets his own rebound. Riley Curtis, little flip pass to McNaught. Back over to the far side, and that one just misses by inches. And it'll be an over and back call as Oshawa looking to pounce on that loose ball before the Timbermen get back. It's Tompkinson. Over to St. John. St. John shoots and scores. The hat-trick goal for John St. John. His second shorthanded marker on this same penalty. 6-0 lead for the Outlaws right now. And it's John St. John once again. There's the dish to the far side. A nice pick. Gives St. John a little bit of room to come out and unload that shot. Still 45 seconds left to work with on the man advantage. But so far it's been two shorthanded goals for Oshawa. Peterborough unable to capitalize. Timberman looking to get something going. Bragg out to Curtis. Curtis tries to go far side, picked off by McDonald. McDonald now one-on-one with Curtis. McDonald pulls out, waits for St. John off the bench. St. John shot, saved by Walsh. That would have been a natural short-handed hat trick. Not sure how many of those exist in league history, if any. As the final second ticks off the penalty. Back to even strength. Curtis trying to go to the side of the net. That just misses the mark. And an interference possession call gives things right back to the Outlaws. Six-0 lead. 4 minutes into this second quarter. Oshawa in no rush on this offensive opportunity. Nice cushion right now. And St. John. It's the ball knocked loose, but a moving pick down in the corner anyway, giving the ball right back to Peterborough. It's Arsenal. Arsenal, he heads off, dishes the ball into that far side. Little underhand shot. It gets bobbled a little bit. And the Outlaws will break out. Grandel flips it up to Gilray. Gilray with a long pass to Rogers. Still working it around are the Outlaws. Waiting for a good shot. There's McNulty with one. Nice save by Walsh. Outlet pass down to Owen Dale. He's trying to find Bradshaw on the crease, but it's picked right up by the Outlaws. Pass was a little off the mark. Tompkinson. He steps into one. That's saved by Walsh. Laskowitz with the rebound. He's forced off into the corner. Everyone's gone for a line change, so they're down a couple guys until the offense gets out. Now everyone's out as St. John circles around. Heavy shot, looking for the top corner. Walsh with the save. Rebound rolls off into the corner. Hanrahan. He'll dish the ball off, drive through to the middle, trying to create an opening as Simmons drives a shot off Walsh's shoulder. Another reset for the Outlaws. Heavy shot. And that one will be another reset. Timmerman calling for a face-off, but it will be Oshawa possession as Luke Laskowitz start things off at the top. For Gilmore, down into the corner to St. John. And again, some pushing and shoving, this time behind the Timmerman net. Parker Sands has it. Dishes it to Curtis. Curtis flips it back to Sands. Ball popped out of his stick before he got a shot off. Ball still loose, picked up by Curtis. Now Bradshaw. Taking his time, moves it over to Curtis. Curtis now from long distance. That one just misses the mark. Looking to get it right back. Peterborough gets a reset out of that one. Shouldn't have been a reset, but I don't think it's supposed to be because the ref is counting down that it was a 30-second violation. And then an interference call as well. So Timmerman get the ball right back anyway with a fresh 30. So that just wipes itself out. Braden Smith. Clayton takes out his man. The Timmermen don't like that. Fresh 30 once again for Peterborough to work with, looking for their first goal. Curtis, not with the save. And Knott rings one off the beam, looking for that long pass. Peterborough will get to start off with it in the corner. They've had every opportunity to get on the board here. They just can't beat Knott. Connor Curtis flips it out to Riley Curtis. Shot on the run. That hits Knott in the shoulder, and a 3-on-1 back the other way. Graham over to Nolan. Back out to Graham. Sidearm shot, scores. A transition goal for the Outlaws. And that makes it a 7-0 game. Nice little give and go. Finished by Brandon Graham, picking up his first of the game. You can just see Oshawa take advantage on the transition. It was a 3-on-1 and then a 3-on-2. Many options, though, for the Outlaws. And then just that outside shot is what did it. 7-0, and we're going to see a goaltending change for the Timbermen. Ryan Masters will be coming in for Stephen Walsh. Certainly not his fault. He was getting peppered there for a while. Oshawa gets it off the face-off. They're looking to get something going. The fresh goalie in there. No warm-ups for the backup goalie when he comes in, just at the start of the game. Gone are the days where a shooter would come out, take a few shots at him, warm him up. They just go in there cold. But Ryan Masters, 1 for 1 on the shot so far, as back the other way. The Timbermen missed the mark on that shot. Ball still bouncing loose. We'll see if the goalie change sparks the Timbermen. Bragg dishes off to the far side. And that ball gets knocked into the crease, scooped up by Knott. He looks down floor, has to be careful of these low beams, and a great pass right on the money, and a huge save by Ryan Masters as it gets knocked off into the corner. What a pass from Deacon Knott. It'll be an official timeout with the Oshawa Outlaws leading the Peterborough Timbermen 7-0. We'll be right back. And with the Outlaws leading the Timbermen 7-0, we're set to resume play here. Just waiting to see who the Timbermen are going to send on offense for a little discussion with Coach Sullivan. Now they have it all figured out. Ryan Masters in between the pipes now for Peterborough. Coming in to relieve Stephen Walsh just moments ago. Peterborough hoping that will change momentum a little bit. Sometimes that does work that way. As Curtis into the middle. And now McDonald back the other way after that scrambled up play. McDonald all alone. Masters with another save. He's 2 for 2. Peterborough trying everything to spark their team. We saw a little scrap earlier. They're hoping the goalie change will do it. So far, so good as Peterborough still with the ball. Curtis rings one off the iron. Back the other way comes Nolan. Nolan, again, a save by Masters. And then we've got a high stick right after that shot. So just as the Timbermen look to be getting some momentum going, couple good offensive opportunities and some big saves from Masters. They take a penalty. You can just see right after the shot, Nolan, he's left all alone. And then just a high stick out of nowhere. And that'll be 5 minutes. So Timbermen down for 5 with 5:55 left to go in the second quarter and a 7-0 lead. St. John, he's going to quarterback this power play at the top. He has 3 goals tonight. Again, Oshawa just playing some catch with it. That'll be an over and back call. They couldn't handle that pass. We saw 2 shorthanded goals for the Outlaws earlier. We'll see if the Timbermen can get a couple shorthanded here as they try to claw their way back into this one. Peterborough looking for their first win of the season. Sitting with a record of 0-5. Oshawa with a 4-1 record coming into today. 10 to go on the shot clock. Peterborough taking their time. They're just going to dump it into the corner. So giving the ball right back to Oshawa. No attempt for a shot on that play. As Oshawa looking for their 8th at the other end. St. John out to Laskowitz. Pass intended for St. John. That goes off the sideboards. And now Peterborough with still 3:45 left to kill in their penalty. 5-minute major. They'll bring it into the offensive zone. Last time they just gave it away. We'll see what happens this time. Looks like they're in no rush once again. They're keeping it well towards the outside near that center line. Now we've got a bit of movement. It's Riley Curtis with a jump shot. No problem there for Knott. Fires it down to Gilray. Gilray will just hang on to it, wait for the power play offense to come out. Still all alone on this near side. Now Simmons joins them. And again, the Outlaws will just work things around. St. John at the top. He steps into one. That goes off the boards. Almost gets his own rebound. Still loose. Nobody able to pick it up. Now St. John does, but the 30-second buzzer goes as soon as he gets it in his stick. Peterborough down by 7. And in no rush to do anything on offense. They are down for another 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So they're just happy to kill off the penalty. They want to get back to 5-on-5 as Curtis takes a long outside shot. Ball rolls back in towards Knott. He does a good job. Had he touched it, that would have been back in, so he lets it roll through. Picked up by Saint. He's been out there for a while. He'll head for a line change now. Flips the ball to Gilmore. Down into the corner to St. John. Back out to Gilmore. To Laskowitz at the top. 10 to go on the shot clock. Simmons now trying to find a lane. 2 to go on the shot clock. They need to get something on net. And once again, Oshawa unable to get anything on net before the 30-second buzzer. 1:45 left to go now in the 5-minute major to the Timbermen. 2:35 left to go in this first half. Peterborough, once again, just looking to kill off some time. Everyone getting a touch. Finally, a heavy outside shot. And Oshawa deep in the zone with 1:20 left to go on their man advantage. They'll set up on the offense. Failed to get a shot off on the last 2 possessions. Gilmore down into St. John. Out to Laskowitz at the top. St. John behind the net. He tries to circle out. That gets picked off. Still loose up in the air. Picked up by Simmons now. His shot goes just wide. It's Ryan Masters. Up to Bragg, who's got it in the offensive zone now. Bragg looking for a man off the bench. Still bouncing off the sideboards. Timmerman would have been called for too many men had they touched that, so Parker Sands forced to just leave it. 25 seconds left to go on the Oshawa penalty. Or on the Oshawa power play, pardon me, is St. John. Has it at the top, he fakes it. Stepping out of the corner with it. On a good opportunity was Rogers. And he's got the ball right back. Moves it off into the far side. There's a bounce shot from Cole Hanrahan as the final second ticks off the 5-minute major to the Timbermen. Back to even strength, entering the final minute of play. And the Timbermen just looking for a goal before this break. They'd love to go into halftime with a little bit of momentum on their side. A late goal could do that. There it is right there. An underhand shot from Braden Smith. The first goal of the game for the Timbermen. And it's a 7-1 lead for the Outlaws with 38 seconds left to go in the first half. The Timbermen will take that. Braden Smith getting things going late in this first half for Peterborough. That's all they wanted. They just wanted to solve Knott, and then hopefully a few more goals will follow, but Oshawa looking to respond at the other end. And now Oshawa will get called for the too many men. So we saw Peterborough get called for 2 too many men penalties earlier in this game, and this time it will be Oshawa. Coach Sullivan calls for a timeout from the Peterborough bench. So he's going to bring the troops in. They're hoping to get their second on the heels of their first goal coming just on that last possession. And now Oshawa in the penalty box. So an opportunity for the Timbermen to go into this break with another goal. They've got a bit of momentum now. It all started changing when Ryan Masters went in net. Again, starting goaltender Stephen Walsh certainly wasn't his fault. He was getting peppered there. But Peterborough just needed to change something up, and Ryan Masters has been perfect. Since coming into the Timbermen net, they've responded with one goal at the other end to get them on the board. Still trailing 7-1 though. We did see a bit of rough stuff earlier in the game. Riley Morgan for the Outlaws. He was challenged by Caleb Bingley. Bingley was fired up after his scrap, hoping to fire up his Timbermen. $15 to go now as the Timbermen. The goalie's still in net. They're already on the power play, so they don't need an extra man. That shot gets saved by Knott. Tompkinson tries to find Feltman on the far side. It's rolling around. With 2 seconds left to go. Oshawa looking for one final shot. Masters with the save. And at halftime, the Oshawa Outlaws leading the Peterborough Timbermen 7-1. We'll be back with the third quarter right after this.
Peterborough falling to Six Nations, 16-10, the final in that game. And how about through a screen right there? So Bryce Dennis.
You know, that was just a simple play. You know what? They definitely took advantage of the screen on the shot. As we're going to see here in the replay, it was just a nice pass down the left side, and pass back across the top, over top of the screen, and I don't think Stonefish was ready.
They'll wait on the screen and roll, and that's a beauty goal as it looked like it slipped right in on the right side of Selleck.
So what you're going to see here is an offensive penalty as well. You're going to have the goal, but you're going to have the offensive guy diving into the goalie after he shoots the ball.
And we'll get some clarification on some numbers as the Bears strike again. And their offense seems to be working pretty smoothly here today.
If you're watching this here, he goes through the home run check, right? And then he misses, and the guy has to double the ball. The one thing I'm finding right now is a lot of defensive possession. Like, that's the key right now. It's picking the ball up in your own end and getting it out of your end. Both teams seem to be struggling right now, getting the ball in their own end when it's on the ground.
Well, similar records, similar place in the standings, so you can see that these two teams kind of mirroring each other. Working at the top is Riley Curtis. On the run, that shot wide of the mark, getting his own care, getting another finish.
That just has a lot to do with staying on the ball. You know, he took the shot, stayed on the run, found his rebound, and buried it far short side.
Looking to skip that off. Good hands, track it down, looking one time, and it's Lucas Beaver.
Yeah, but you're playing 4-on-4 here because the Timbermen decided to leave a guy up the floor. So now you're scrambling in the back end, playing 4-on-4 rather than being settled in there.
He's got Martin. Martin goes to the underhand. So well-designed play.
Good transition by the Bears on this one. Caught Peterborough slow changing. Had an open guy on the far side. Again, from one side to the other.
For the Bears. And off the draw, here come the Timbermen with numbers. 2-1-0. They go to the bounce shot. Bombury gets a step, hesitation on board. Bombury up, down. Good save by Selleck. And a better finish as Bombury followed that up. Just over a minute left in the man short. And how about that bullet from Danton Miller?
There's ones where goalie Selleck, I think he wished he had it back. He knew it was coming, but just kind of stepped a little too far to the right. And he beat him 5-hole rather than just coming.
To try to dip his way in was Bradshaw. Swinging around to the left. And it's Curtis. Curtis trying to reach over, and that's going to be a good goal. So a good work one-on-one by Riley Curtis as he picks up another, more importantly, closes the gap
watch the guy that
to 10-8.
Pushes up, which just traps the guy on the top side guy rather than push him and just leave him and jam Curtis early.
Dance also a threat, as is 28 Dan Williams. They've been outstanding offensively for this team, and right off the bat.
You got a little down pick, slides inside, slips through. One of those ones where you think the guy's going to pick, but he just slides inside underneath. Nice pass.
And this Toronto offense has been rolling on all cylinders as they've been good. Ben Heidecker off the draw, curling around, underhand finish.
Well, you got to stop the transition game of Toronto, right? Right off the draw, they win the draw, they're 3-on-2. And you know what? And you can't fight for one-on-one down low. Good ball movement here. He brings the ball to the right side, swings around the net. He just parks himself in that bottom line. Right? Nice, easy spot, and long way to come for Dusty to make that save. He's got some quick ball movement going left to right, back down, and the guy right through the middle, wide open.
But right. I like the way Tyler Davis did a roll to get open on that, and then with two defenders on him.
There's a lot of hustle here. Dancher takes that long shot outside. Williams' his check, loses him. He just continues to follows that rebound in, picks that loose ball, and dunks it behind Dustin.
Of this season.
See the replay. You know, it's some good ball movement going back and forth. The pick happens. He goes inside. He takes that pass. You know, instead of just taking the guy, it's like we're swinging at sticks. It's like, you know, you got to lock that guy down. You know, take the stick out of his hands, yes, but you can't be swinging at it. He got the chance. Tanner Buck cheated a little early here on this one, which gave him a wide open breakaway down the middle. And, you know, it's one of those things where you get an offensive guy stuck on defense. And
ball loose. Here come the Monarchs the other way. Gay. Inside out, stopped by Dusty Hill. Hill.
Just good ball movement. The ball comes back around the top. Chayton finds the ball here in the second. Again, he's a goal scorer. You can't let goal scorers take shots like that, right? It was a good shot, far side. Big hit up along the boards. They thought they had it. Again, you know what? It just comes down to ball possession along the boards to start the whole thing off, right? You lose it, you're shorthanded on the inside.
Over to St. John. He circles out to the top, looking for a hole. Backhand pass back over to the side. Shoots and scores as Gilmore gets things going on a nice pass from St. John. Takes it. St. John, who had that last goal, he drives to the net, scores. 2 in a row for John St. John, and it's 4-0 Outlaws.
He has a very quick first step. And when he made that little head fake and half step to the inside, he was wide open.
Net, and they do. Not much doing. And back the other way comes Brampton. 2-on-2. Volkov. There shoots and scores. Trying to get some momentum their way to start the quarter, and they do, is Sunderland with the power play marker with a shot from the top. Some fresh 30 on the clock for Oshawa. They lead the Outlaws 5-2 as goal right off the whistle. Brampton did not look set on their defense. And that is the 6th goal of the game. That one going to Alex Simmons. And welcome back inside the Children's Arena. Arena Lacrosse League action between the Oshawa Outlaws and Peterborough Timbermen. Outlaws with a 7-1 lead entering this second half. I'm Scott Arnold bringing you the action this afternoon. Goal scorer for Peterborough was Brayden Smith just at the end of the half. And the goal scorers for Oshawa, John St. John, he's got the hat trick, 2 of them shorthanded. Tompkinson has a goal, Laskowitz has a goal, Andrioli and Graham with singles as well, and that is where we sit. Peterborough will start the half on the power play. 1:34 left on the man advantage for them. A little bit of momentum with that late half goal. And the Timbermen with the ball. Parker Sands. Out to Curtis. Over to Bradshaw. Curtis and Bradshaw will play a little bit of catch. Now the ball off to the far side, back out to Curtis. Curtis now swings over to that shooter position. Down into the corner, little give and go, and a huge save by Deacon Knott. The Oshawa bench loved that one. Curtis. Little flip backhand pass. That one just misses the mark on the shot. That'll give the ball to Oshawa. Deacon Knott in net, as mentioned, for the Outlaws. He was the starting goalie. At the other end of things, Ryan Masters in net for the Timbermen. He came in to relieve Stephen Walsh after that 7th goal. Simmons. He's circling around. Takes a couple healthy whacks. That shot goes through the legs of Masters, but takes a nice hop off to the side. And there's a quick stick opportunity at the side of the net from Laskowitz, and Masters again makes the save. Coming up big in relief of Walsh is Masters. 15 left to go on the man advantage. Curtis steps his way over to the far side. Ball's out at the top now with Dennis. Over to Curtis. The power play has expired. Back to even strength. Timbermen have to be careful for the man coming out of the box. Is Andrioli was serving that penalty. He's down at the other end of the floor waiting for the ball. Now he'll head towards the bench. Just momentarily, a little fake. He decides to stay on the floor, and he has the ball now. He had the opening goal in this one. Dishes it off to Gilmore. Gilmore trying to swing off the pick. Forced back towards the middle. Oshawa needs a shot off. On the run was Gilray, and then the 30-second buzzer goes. Jensen Walker heads to the bench, tries to dish it down into Bryce Dennis. He gets checked as soon as he touches it. Now a battle ensues. Outlaws come out with it. Just a couple minutes into this second half. Laskowitz with the flip pass out to the top. Oshawa looking to settle down the offense as McNulty dishes it into St. John. Laskowitz with it now. He steps into one. Masters again. Makes the save. Long outlet pass down to Owen Dale. He's waiting for the offense to come out. There's Pavic. Timberman still with it at the outside. Now Curtis. 10 seconds left to go on the shot clock. Making some movement towards the middle. Dishes it off to Bragg. Curtis comes in to scoop up that loose ball. The 30-second buzzer is going to go before the Timbermen are able to get anything off. No goals yet early in this third quarter. First half was all Oshawa. St. John, he's got 4 points tonight. Dishes it off into the middle. Good defense by the Timbermen as Gilray couldn't get through. There's an outside shot, hits a man in front. And that'll be a crease ball as Masters looks down floor. Nice outlet pass to Doherty. He circles towards the middle. Still gets a shot off as he's running out of room. Deacon not with the save. St. John will bring it into the offensive zone. Drives towards the net. Dishes it off right at the top of the crease. As McNulty, he gets stopped right at the top. Quickly back the other way is Owen Dale. To Dennis. Dennis starts driving towards that lane. He's forced off into the corner now. Out to the outside. He's got a shot. Not makes the save. It's just the edge of his glove. This is how the game started. Back and forth action before Oshawa started getting a few goals. Then all of a sudden it was 7-0 at one time. Until Peterborough got that late first half goal in the final minute. Simmons over to Laskowitz, trying to find Gilmore on the far side. That gets picked off down into the middle by Arsenault. Up to Tucker King. Connor Curtis with it now. He gets cranked. Outlaws get the ball right back. Andrioli winds up like he was going to shoot. And that gets picked off on the far side. It's Caleb Bingley. Bingley had a good tilt in that first half. And now just a bit of a wild pass ends up in the Oshawa bench, giving the Outlaws the ball right back. Rogers. Circles out towards the top. Feeds it out to Hanrahan. Hanrahan with the flip pass to Laskowitz. Laskowitz, he's got an opening, outside shot, and again, Masters with the save. Ben Doherty bringing it out of the zone, dishes it up to Bradshaw. Bradshaw, heavy shot, that's saved by Nutt. Timbermen get the rebound, fresh 30 on the clock. McNutt. Out to the top to Smith. He's the lone goal scorer for the Timbermen tonight. Delayed call. Timbermen just notice it now as Masters heads to the bench for the extra attacker. Loose ball. Oshawa trying to get a touch to get the whistle. Timmerman still with it. Heavy outside shot goes off the wall. 5 to go on the shot clock. And an illegal cross-check penalty against the Outlaws. So the Timbermen going to work on the power play is Jake Strozer. He'll head to the penalty box. And the Timbermen will start with the ball deep in the Oshawa zone. Almost the halfway mark of this third quarter. Still no goals to report of after the teams combined for 8 in that first half. Connor Curtis quarterbacking the power play at the top, just working it around with his shooters. Now Riley Curtis, little jump shot. Oshawa quickly back the other way on transition. Breakaway shoots, and Masters with the huge save as Tompkinson looking for his second goal of the game. Ryan Masters has been spectacular since coming into the Timberman net. Curtis trying to dish it off, and the ball ends up right back with the captain. It's Veltman. The clock is frozen. It hasn't moved in quite some time. Referee just notices it now. I noticed the penalty first. Stuck at 1:45, but I think the game clock wasn't moving as well, so we'll see how they sort this one out. Referee right over there with the timekeeper right now. See if they need to change anything. Oshawa hanging on to that 7-1 lead. John St. John leading the offense so far. 3 goals, 2 of them coming shorthanded in that first half. Oshawa will have possession when this does resume, so they just took 30 seconds off the clock. So it went down from 8:24 to 7:54. So that means the penalty should go down to 1:15. They're putting that up right now rather than changing it. They'll just add a second penalty, wipe out the first one to get the time correct. And now looks like we're all set. Oshawa will start the ball just across the center line. It's Laskowitz. Down into St. John. He's calling for Gilmore to come out, and St. John will get into the corner. Oshawa down a man, so not much room through the middle for St. John to pass to anybody. Now he drives to the net himself. Spin shot looking for the bottom corner. Masters makes the save. 48 seconds left to play with on the Timberman power play. Bradshaw, all alone on the far side, moves out to Curtis at the top. Riley Curtis with the flip pass to Connor Curtis. They'll play some catch. Connor Curtis, little overhand shot, looking for the changeup. That ends up into the corner, and the 30-second buzzer will go. And now some rough stuff behind the play, and it looks like both guys will be heading off to the penalty box. So with 22 seconds left to go in the Oshawa penalty, looks like we'll have a penalty apiece for both sides, so we'll see some 4-on-3 action. And they're going to take an official's timeout right at the same time. So with the Outlaws leading 7-1, we'll take a look at how that transpired. So you see right in front of the net, there's the pushing and shoving. There's a high stick, and there's Veltman reacting. And so both of them will head off to the box. So it'll be 4-on-3 for 22 seconds. So the Timbermen with a bit of floor space out there to work with. Once this resumes, we're just on an official timeout right now. We got both assistant captains out there trying to make sure this is just going to be coincidental penalties. So it might be still 5-on-4 if it is. Straight up coincidental. Nothing is up on the board for either side yet, penalty-wise. Oshawa just sending 4 guys out. Peterborough with 4. And now the 5th. So it'll be 5-on-4 for 22 seconds. Then we'll be back to even strength. So Luke Laskowitz will start with the ball at the top. Sidestep his way towards the Timberman bench. Being checked closely by Bragg. Laskowitz starts cutting towards the middle now. Bragg keeping him to the outside. Gets a shot off. That goes wide. Into the corner to Rogers. He had to reach out to make that grab. Gets taken down hard by his man, and his helmet gets knocked off. It's Ben Doherty with the heavy hit and the scoop up. Rogers wanted a call on that one. Play resumes. Doherty on a bad angle. No problem there for Knott. That fired up the Peterborough bench, though, that hit. So we are back to even strength. Oshawa in no rush right now. And Oshawa only has 4 guys out on the offense. Here comes the 5th as Simmons just sneaks off the bench. That goes high and wide, picked up by Parker Sands. Sands to Arsenal. Can't handle that pass. Goes right into the crease, picked up by Knott, who launches it down to St. John. A little tic-tac-toe passing play. St. John to Gilray to Laskowitz for the finish. And that's the first goal of the second half. It's Luke Laskowitz picking up his second. Great passing play for the Outlaws. A little backhander by Gilray, and then Laskowitz takes his time to find an opening. That is the first goal against Ryan Masters, who came in to relieve Stephen Walsh back in that first half. He has been perfect since that goal. Giving the Timbermen every opportunity to get back into this one, but Deacon not at the other end. Well, he's been pretty good here tonight, too. Making several big saves, allowing his Outlaws to do their thing at the other end on offense. And they're going to set up once again. McNulty. Over to Hanrahan, who's trying to spin free of his man. He's got a little bit of an opening. Ball gets knocked loose. Hanrahan gets it again right at the top of the crease. Just as he steps in. Tucker King will bring it. To Bragg. Little isolation play on the far side as Smith all alone. Now he has a bit of help. Smith is the lone goal scorer for the Timbermen. There's a little bounce shot as Michael Mays trying to fool Knott. Peterborough will get the reset, though. So fresh 30 to work with on this offense. Smith. Looking towards that far side. Now he drives towards the net. Knott makes the save. Rebound scooped up by Oshawa. Strozer out to St. John. Back in tight to Strozer, looking for the 5-hole. Masters with the save, and that'll hit one of the beams in the ceiling. Oshawa ball. St. John looking to make it 9 for the Outlaws. Finds Simmons. Simmons, as he's getting hauled down, still managed to get a shot off. And Peterborough back the other way. It's a good line change by the Outlaws, though. They cut off anything that was about to happen. And now a great check by Nolan. Gets the wall right back for Oshawa. Nolan will take it up himself. Dishes it off to Andrioli. Andrioli on the run, looking for the bottom corner. That just misses the mark. Out of play Timberman ball. Arsenal. Timberman still need 2 on the offense. There they come off the bench. Riley Curtis was one of them. He's got the ball now. Curtis using his size for that overhand shot to get across Tompkinson. Not got a piece of it, so that'll be a reset on the 30. Curtis. Little flip pass. That misses the mark. And here's a little breakaway opportunity for the Outlaws. That shot is saved by Masters as Brandon Graham was looking for his second goal. Oshawa gets it right back. Little fake pass over to Graham as McDonald trying to go short side. Curtis will scoop it up. He'll take off. He's been out there a while. Tries to pass it off into the corner, and this back and forth action continues over the last couple minutes. Andrioli with it now. Heavy shot and scores. Andrioli with a bit of a no-look overhand shot. That'll give the Outlaws a 9-1 lead. And it'll give Andrioli his second of the game. He opened up the scoring in this one, as we've got some pushing and shoving after that goal. McNulty, he's all alone in there. He's being swarmed by Timberman players. Referees trying to separate them. You can hear the Oshawa bench. They're wanting a face mask call from that one. We'll see how they sort this out. We'll take a look at that last goal. Just a heavy shot from Andrioli. He was looking to his left, waiting for some help on the far side, and then just decides to bury it. Just a great shot from Nick Andrioli. And it looks like we'll have some coincidental penalties on the other side of that. No penalties going up on the board, but each team with a man in the box. Andrioli and Bragg having some words. Referee blowing the whistle. They want something from the Peterborough bench. Lots of confusion on both sides now. Now they're talking to the Oshawa bench. Oshawa wants possession. They don't want a face-off right now, so they're trying to argue that it should be their ball. As the rough stuff continues behind the play, away from where the face-off will eventually be. Oshawa still wanting that possession. It will be a face-off, though. Outlaws leading 9-1. Borden picks it up for the Timbermen off the draw. And now we've got a delayed call as Masters heads to the bench for the extra attacker. 12 seconds on the shot clock to work with here. With the goalie. Now finally an extra attacker is going out. Goalie was just standing there as Masters was trying to wait for a guy to get out. So a missed opportunity for the extra man for the Timbermen, but they'll go to work on the power play right now anyway. So a full 2 minutes will go up on the board on the Oshawa side. And unsportsmanlike conduct. So the Oshawa bench getting teed up. So they'll have to send somebody over to serve that penalty. So with a 9-1 lead, the Outlaws forced to kill a penalty now. It's Curtis quarterbacking the power play once again. Curtis just dishing it around the perimeter, waiting for someone to develop. Trying to cut through was Bryce Dennis. Couldn't handle that one. Outlaws the other way. They have a couple shorthanded goals tonight, both coming from John St. John's stick. Looking to make it another one, but Masters with a save on Nolan. Arsenal will head off to the bench, leaves the ball for Connor Curtis, who dishes it to Riley Curtis. Pavic now. Little overhand shot from the corner as Bradshaw trying a little change up. Under 1 minute left to kill now in the Oshawa penalty. St. John with it. Muscling his way towards the net. Ball gets popped free. Things getting really rough out there now. So we enter the last minute of play in this third quarter. Pavic. He's still with it. Now we'll flip it to Bradshaw. Bradshaw goes far side over to Curtis, out to the top to Dennis. And a shot right at the buzzer by Bradshaw. That was the 30-second buzzer. Oshawa trying to get a transition shorthanded goal back the other way. Ball's loose though. As Webb trying to knock his man Curtis back into the crease. And Bryce Dennis, as we're back to 5-on-5 even strength, drives towards the net. That's saved by Knott. Oshawa quickly up the other way. It's Andrioli looking for his third goal. Overhand shot, leg saved by Masters, and that'll do it for the third quarter as the Oshawa Outlaws have a 9-1 lead over the Peterborough Timbermen at the break. We'll be back shortly with the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter action about to get underway here at Children's Arena. The Outlaws with a 9-1 lead over the visiting Timbermen. I'm Scott Arnold bringing you this Arena Lacrosse League action this afternoon. Just the 2 goals in that last period, or in that last quarter rather. Luke Laskowitz with one, Andrioli with the other. After a very busy first half. Things quieting down in the second half. Oshawa looking to make it 10 is Simmons. He rips one, saved by Masters. Gilray gets knocked into the crease, giving the ball right back to Peterborough. Peterborough's only goal coming in the second quarter. Looking for another one right there was Riley Curtis. Brandon Graham decides to pull out, wait for some help, get the offensive unit out. And then some great defense by Peterborough as Ryan Masters steps out of his crease, scoops up the loose ball. It'll be into the corner to Curtis. It's being watched closely by Webb. Curtis with the flip pass to McNutt. McNutt far side, looking to give it back to Curtis. Picked off by Oshawa, it's McDonald. McDonald flips it out to Veltman. Into the middle, good opportunity as Tristan Rogers looking to get in on the offense. Owendale slowing things down for the Timbermen. McNutt with it now. Curtis sets a pick for him as McNutt, a heavy shot. That goes off the iron, a little one-arm underhand shot by Mays. That goes off the iron as well, and a dart of a pass from Knott up to Andrioli, and a big save by Masters. Andrioli looking for the hat-trick goal as Deacon Knott with an absolute laser pass. And then he gets beat just seconds after, though, as Jake on that far side. Peterborough Timbermen. So Bragg gets things going. And then you see right off the bench, a heavy shot coming from the stick of Riley Curtis. So 9-2 game, 12:39 left to go in this fourth quarter. Veltman, he has to jump for that pass. It's Oshawa looking to get that one right back. Ryan Masters doing a fantastic job in the Timberman net. He came in after the 7th goal to relieve Stephen Walsh, making some big saves down the stretch. He makes another one there. Short outlet pass down floor. Tucker King flips it into Curtis. He had the last goal. And now Andrioli is going to try and pounce on that loose ball. And we'll see a penalty behind the play. So referee blowing things down as Andrioli was trying to chase it off into the corner. And we'll see if it's coincidentals. And it looks like it's just going to be the Timbermen. Aaron Bradshaw, the only one in the box right now. He's having some words from the penalty box with the Oshawa bench. So 2 minutes goes up on the Peterborough side and a power play for the Outlaws. They were leading 7-1 at the half. And now it is 9-2 in this fourth quarter. Ball rolling loose towards center, picked up by Simmons. 3-on-1. It's Alaskowitz, that one just misses the mark, and backhander by Simmons, and a highlight reel goal by Simmons, who's mixing it up with everyone now, including the goalie, Ryan Masters. Referees trying to separate them as Simmons gets his helmet yanked off. Parker Sands in there for the Timbermen. And what a goal from Simmons. Looked like the play was over. Simmons gets it. And just a backhander out of nowhere. Takes a shot after the goal, so he decides to give a shot. Then Masters comes in. And that brings in a crowd. Ending off with Sands and Simmons. Sands wanted to go. Simmons was just happy to celebrate the goal. as this game continues to get rough. Even the referee's helmet got knocked off. He's just putting it back on now towards center. And they'll have a discussion between the three referees to see how they're going to sort this one out, as Oshawa has taken a 10-2 lead in this fourth quarter. Peterborough already had a man in the box. So that Simmons goal will wipe that penalty eventually. It's still up on the clock right now, but it will be a power play marker going towards Simmons. So the referee will go over to the timekeeper's box, and we'll see how they sort this one out. So one guy in there for Oshawa right now, a couple in there for Peterborough, but nothing up on the board except for that original penalty that the Simmons goal would have just wiped out. So a huge first half by Oshawa. It gave them a nice 7-1 cushion, and then this second half, Peterborough has been able to stay in it a little bit, but there was already that big gap, so they are still the 8 goals behind. Big difference, though. Caleb Bingley, he dropped the gloves earlier with Riley Morgan. That seemed to spark things for Peterborough. And then after the 7th goal, they made a goaltending change. Stephen Walsh headed to the bench. Ryan Masters came into relief. And we've seen that before. It's not the starting goaltender's fault, but you just want to swing a bit of momentum your side, and sometimes changing up the goalies will do just that. And that is what it has done here this afternoon. But Peterborough unable to solve Deacon Knott at the other end, who's just been fantastic in goal for the Outlaws. So 2 minutes is up on the Peterborough side right now. And that appears to be the only penalty going up. So Oshawa, who just scored their 10th goal on the power play, looks like they'll go to work on another one. Captains are out there talking to the refs, trying to get an explanation on things. Things starting to get chippy down the stretch. Seen some big hits here today, but lots of rough stuff after the whistle, and there's an 8-goal span between two teams in the game of lacrosse. That tends to happen. Bingley out there now for the Timbermen. He had that scrap earlier, as I mentioned, with Riley Morgan. And he's going to be at the face-off dot against Grandel. Bingley, an extremely tough customer. Maybe looking for his second bout of the night. After that first bout, put his hands across the waist as if he was putting on the championship belt, a la Ty Domi. See if he wants to put that title on the line. Still see his shirt's a little stretched from that previous bout. He'll stay on the floor trying to chase down his man as St. John gets a shot off. Bingley has some words just for the referee. Trying to keep possession for Peterborough off that one, which they do. Up to Curtis. Curtis with a flip pass down into the middle. There's a shot by Ben Doherty. That hits the mesh behind the net. Quick transition the other way as the Outlaws couldn't handle that pass. Nolan went right through his legs. Tristan Jackson will bring it through for Peterborough. Still 1:15 for the Timbermen to kill on their penalty. So they're down a man on this offense. Oshawa didn't have another man in the offense, though. He was waiting in the back of the zone. If you're wondering why it looked like it was 4-on-4, well, it was. They were keeping a man back. And now we're going to have a penalty off the Timberman bench. So an illegal cross-check. So another penalty goes up on the Peterborough side as that infraction happened just before a line change. Timberman player trying to go off. Referee calls him back on, sends him to the penalty box. So a 5-on-3 man advantage. Shot from the outside from Hanrahan. That's no problem for Masters. Long pass, a little too high as it rolls off into the corner. Chapman will scoop it up. He's all alone on the offense right now as they're down by 2 for another 20 seconds. Chapman still with it, killing off a good chunk of these penalties. Now he'll just drop it in to Deacon Knott, who catches it with his left glove. Knott will fire it up to Graham and moves it to Laskowitz. First penalty ticks off for the Timbermen, so 5-on-4 now. Oshawa still on the power play, leading by 8. St. John out to Laskowitz. Overhand shot. That one just goes off the boards. If Peterborough can scoop it up, a little bit of a breakaway here. They're forced to take it off into the corner as Doherty couldn't get control of that one. He'll just hang out behind the net. He's happy to kill off some time. Now he goes for the dunk goal, and it is waved off. Good attempt by Doherty, trying to get something going for the Timbermen. Time is running out in regulation. If it wasn't for that first half, Timbermen would be right into it. As I mentioned, they trailed at halftime 7-1. Oshawa looking for their 11th. St. John has it off the rebound. Back to even strength. Laskowitz with it at the top. Over to St. John on the far side. And now got another penalty, illegal cross check. So haven't seen too much 5-on-5 lacrosse in this fourth quarter. Oshawa taking this one. So Timberman power play. Oshawa sitting atop the standings right now with a 4-1 record, undefeated at home, 2-0. Peterborough at the bottom of the standings there, 0-5. As Nolan grabs the ball for the Outlaws. He'll take it the length of the floor, steps into that one, goes a little wide off the end mesh, giving the ball right back to Peterborough with 1:43 left to work with on the man advantage. Curtis fakes the pass, now he dishes it off. It's Riley Curtis with it, out to the top to McNutt. Over to Dennis, back out to McNutt to Curtis. Swings through, there goes a shot, doesn't make it through. Rebound scooped up by Dennis. That shot doesn't get through either, and a huge hit off the boards. And that'll bring a crowd in. Referee's arm went up right away. So with 1:19 left to go in the Oshawa penalty. It looks like Peterborough will be getting a penalty. Aaron Bradshaw heading to the box. So we're going to take a quick break ourselves as the Outlaws leading the Timbermen 10-2. And we're back after that officials timeout. 2 minutes up on the board for Peterborough as Bradshaw just took a penalty. So we'll see some 4-on-4 action. Hanrahan. Little backhand flip pass into the corner. That just misses the mark. Oshawa still with it. There's Rogers from a bad angle trying to tuck it home. Bragg with the ball now for the Timbermen. Under 7 minutes left to play in regulation. Riley Curtis does a half lap of the floor out to Bingley. Bingley gets a shot off. And now that's picked off by Curtis down the middle. And Deacon Knott gets a piece of it. Curtis with the rebound. Now Bragg's shot. Looking for that bouncer. That goes way up over the mesh. Right in front of us here. As the Outlaws looking for their 11th goal. They're in no rush on this offense. There's a heavy shot from the outside. No problem for Masters. The first penalty expires, so Oshawa will be on the power play. If they can get the ball back, they'll be able to set up on offense and look for that 11th goal that has eluded them for so long. Timmerman doing a good job, though, protecting the ball. They get a shot off. Fresh 30 if they can get it back, but the ball rolls into the crease, picked up by Knott. He looks down floor to Brandon Graham. Graham goes for a line change. St. John with the ball. St. John looks behind him. As that penalty has expired, he knows a man's coming out. Good heads-up play. It's Laskowitz. Hanrahan over to St. John. Oshawa runs out of time. As the 30-second buzzer goes. Just over 5 minutes left to play in this fourth quarter. Oshawa looking to remain undefeated at home. Braden Smith, he had that opening goal for the Timbermen, moves it over to Curtis. Riley Curtis rings one off the helmet of Knott. Knott with another save. Deacon Knott has been outstanding for the Outlaws in this game. Gilray. Hanrahan sets a pick for him. Gilray still with it. Now Laskowitz sets a pick. Tries to get the ball after the pick. Goes off the top of his stick. Picked up by Peterborough. Owendale to Curtis. Curtis all by himself on the near side. Ball gets swat loose. Nice defensive play by McDonald. Now he'll take off with it. McDonald winds up a heavy shot from long distance. Masters with the save on that one. And again, you take away that first half, and this game's a lot tighter. 7-1 at the half. 3-1 in this second half. Ryan Masters, the big story for the Timbermen. But the bigger story, Deacon Knott in net for the Outlaws. He's been almost unbeatable, except for those 2 goals. Veltman. Into McNutt. Out to St. John on the run. That one just misses the mark. Transition back the other way for Peterborough. A little 2-on-1 opportunity. Pass intended for Jackson. That missed the mark. White now for Oshawa. He sees a lane. Shoots and scores. Keegan White with the transition goal. And that'll make it 11-2 for the Outlaws as Keegan White just takes off and buries it into that top corner. It's a 9-goal span now. Is Deacon Knott over at that Oshawa bench. Just getting some equipment repairs to that left leg. Oshawa forced to call a timeout. As Deacon Knott trying to fix something on that left leg. You can see him over there. The gate open. So 11-2 for the Outlaws. Despite the score, though, pretty entertaining game. Fans here have to be happy with this one. They've seen a lot of nice goals, some great passing, some physical play. Got to see a tilt. And their Outlaws with the big lead en route to making it a 5-1 record on the season as they'll sit in sole spot of first place in the standings. A little bit of show of respect from the goaltenders union. Ryan Masters, Deacon Knott with a little fist bump as they're going back to the respective nets. Under 3 minutes left to play in this. Clean win by Grandal off the draw. To Tompkinson. Oshawa getting some fresh legs out as Gilmore just hanging on, waiting for everyone to get out of the bench. They've got enough of a lead now, so Oshawa, no urgency in their step. Long outside shot from Simmons. Pass picked off by Gilray. Gilray. Looks like he was going to step into one, moves it off to the side. Here comes Peterborough looking for their third goal. It's Deacon Knott with another big save on Todd Chapman. Nolan with the ball now. Gilray to Laskowitz. John St. John has it. Steps in like he was going to shoot and goes for the quick stick, and they score. A great pass from John St. John, who made it look like he was going to take the shot. He ends up just dishing it to Hanrahan, who is waiting right at the side of the net. Watch St. John, he's way outside. Steps in like he's going to shoot it, and he sees Hanrahan right at the edge of the crease for the quick stick bury. And the Outlaws have a dozen. It's 12-2. Andrioli trying to take on all the Timbermen right now. There's a backhand shot, goes just wide of the net. McNulty with the ball. Gilmore at the top, over to St. John. 5 to go on the shot clock. To Simmons. On the run, just as the buzzer goes, that one off the end boards. Peterborough back the other way. They haven't given up, still hustling till the final buzzer. It's Curtis. Entering the final minute of play, backhand pass picked off by Rogers. Rogers flips it into the corner to Gilmore. Gilmore just walking back out towards center. Over to Hanrahan. He had the last goal for the Outlaws. Hanrahan cuts towards the middle now, calling for that pass. Now he has it. Overhand shot saved by Masters. Hanrahan gets the rebound, but he gets hauled down. Curtis looking for one last opportunity for Peterborough. Spinning off his man, tries to dish it into the middle. Peterborough still with it. 12 to go on the shot clock, or on the game clock rather. And that's picked off. Back the other way comes Graham. Graham with one final shot. That goes off into the corner. And that'll do it for this one. With a little bit of pushing and shoving. After the buzzer, referee will separate them quickly. As the Oshawa Outlaws have defeated the Peterborough Timbermen 12-2. Oshawa remains in first place with a 5-1 record. They're now 3-0 at home. And Peterborough remains winless, sitting in 8th place. Their record moves to 0-6. And that'll do it for us here. I'm Scott Arnold. You've been watching the Arena Lacrosse League.